Now it's just me, everybody. I thought I would dropping my daughter off. I won't see her till next year now. It's always the hardest time for a parent, but it's also a time to be most joyful, I guess. You know, I know there's a lot of parents out there that they deal with custody and they split times with families and they have good times and stuff like that. So I kind of like putting everything out there right when things happen instead of having to think. I just like saying what's on my mind. And you know, everybody knows, you know, Gracie's 11 years old and she's getting older in life and everything else, but sometimes you got to do whatever it takes to make sure that you get along with the other parent. You know, you really do have to put your kids first, and you just really have to put yourself out there. Now, I know a lot of people still don't understand how I work, but when I'm with my daughter, I'm with her, and we do fun things live online and stuff, so that we try to give everybody a basic idea of, you know, different things to do. We try to give hope, but that's not all we do. We do a lot of stuff that is not on camera whatsoever. But, you know, I do a lot of what I do because it means the world to me to participate in, you know, just have a part of my daughter's life. And we always forget sometimes that that's more important than arguing with the other parent or not getting along. And, you know, if you take it the wrong way, it can backfire on you. Meaning, if you don't put your kids first and instead you want to argue with the other person, it can really backfire on you if you're not careful. So always make sure to put your kids first. You know I do a lot of talks on here, a lot of motivational stuff. My biggest reason for motivation is my daughter. You know, I mean, we sometimes have to look at what's going on in their lives. We have to understand, and if you're not part of their lives or you don't take a part in their lives, then how do you know? And so it kills me to know that I'm not going to see her, but it's only a day and a half away. I'll see her on Tuesday again, and I'll get her next weekend and everything. But, you know, there are people out there that they just haven't put two and two together yet. And I want everybody to know that each one of you guys matters, and each one of you guys is important. And it's important that parents know that they're heroes, and their kids love them no matter what we do every day in life. We are heroes to our children. And you know what's really, really scary is sometimes parents that don't take care of their kids are still heroes to their children. And they don't catch that the kids just want us in their lives. They just want us to be there. You know, they want us to have a piece of their life. And when they start arguing with us and everything else, they still want us there. They're just trying to become their own adults as we get older. Now, I can't tell you any more than what an 11-year-old's life is, other than how I was when I was a teenager or when I was a kid. But I'll tell you what, each and every one of you matter. Each and every one of you makes a difference. And if I can change a life, and if I can basically let somebody know that they matter and they're important, maybe someday they can let my daughter know that she's important if I'm not able to. Maybe someday in life, if we can pass on the goodness to each other and stop arguing about every little thing, if we can start, you know, making a difference in each other's worlds, instead of blame, instead, you know, take on the responsibility for ourselves. I am my daughter's father. I take on the responsibility for my daughter. What she does is a reaction of me. And that's what we have to do with each other. And, you know, sometimes you got to let them go. And sometimes you've got to let them be themselves. You know, I try to give my daughter space and her own time, you know, even at 11 years old. But I also make sure that whether she likes it or not, I'm going to be part of her life. And I know some people, they watch their kids grow up and have kids and stuff like that. And they're such great grandparents and everything else. And they really are Mark Miller. They just don't always realize how great they are. Mark Miller. Not going to mention anybody's names. Mark Miller. Because Mark Miller is a Marine and he's a buddy of mine and I love him to death. But sometimes we forget that our kids do grow up. And like so many, I'm not going to ever realize that because I'm a dad and I'm hard-headed. But I also see kids when they've gotten older through, you know, I knew their parents. And it's kind of funny because now that I'm 39 years old, I get to see people's kids growing up and having kids of their own. And they don't see it, but the kids are just like them. Just as stubborn, just as hard-headed, but has just as much love as they were taught from each one of their family members. And whether they realize it or not, they have done a great job with their children. But, you know, like me, when I was, you know, I had to join the Marine Corps. I had to get out. I had to get away. I joined the Marine Corps because I had to get out. So when I was 17, I joined the Army. When I was 18, I joined the Marine Corps and went active duty. And guess what? When I was in the Marine Corps, here's the problem that happened when I was in the Marine Corps. I thought life was passing me by. I think every single Marine can relate to this. When I was in the Marine Corps, and I think Army and Navy can relate to this too. My God, we're in there, we're sitting in our barracks, we're overseas, we're doing something, and time is, felt like we're kids at Christmas time, we're waiting for things to happen. And we think that life is passing us by. And we think that nobody understands that, oh my gosh, I'm missing everything back home. I'm missing everything back home. And then all of a sudden we go back home and we realize we're going faster than everybody back home. We are moving faster. Why? Because we have this idea that people back home, we miss them, we love them so much that we think that they're, but the thing about it is we're moving faster than them. I realized that when I was in the Marine Corps, that my life was going faster than my parents' life, my family's lives. I realized I was doing more than most people around me. And I couldn't feel it because every time I wanted to come home because I missed everybody, then when I came home and everybody's doing the same old with the same old thing, the same old way, going to the same old jobs, I had to do something different with my life. And now I see a lot of people that are happy and content doing the same old, but I also see other people that are not happy doing the same old. I found a way out, and then I came back home. And I see a lot of people coming in my town like that I went to school with. They left Quincy to go and find themselves and to go find different things. And now as they're getting parents, they come back because it is a great town to raise our kids in. It is a great town. We're not a retirement village by any means, but we are a town that we're trying to grow. I don't know if we ever will, but it's a great place to raise your kids. It's a great place. You know, people are heroes around here for the right reasons. And I want each and every one of you to know, as a parent, I feel that my daughter's growing up too fast. Just like when I was in the Marine Corps and part of the Marine Corps, you know, I felt like every time I came home that I was moving faster than everybody. But when I was gone and away, I felt like I was going at a snail's pace. So it happens. It's just the moods we get in. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's what we're about. But one thing we need to know deep down inside, when end of the day, it's up to us. At the end of the day, the responsibility falls on each one of us. We are responsible for our actions. We are responsible for how we treat each other. We are responsible for taking in the responsibilities of our communities and the lives around us. It's our responsibility to basically not listen to the news and the media and everybody trying to tell us who's what, when, where, high, or wow, because, you know, they're going to lie to us. Now, I'm sorry, but the media and the politicians today lie to us. I hear nothing but lies coming from politicians anymore. I mean, you've got people that are in Washington that, you know, there's a shutdown right now. Why? Because the same thing that people wanted a long time ago, they're now changing their minds because they don't agree with our president or they don't agree with Congress or the Senate. Who cares? We got to take responsibility for our actions. And it starts with who we are. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And you know what? If I can make a difference in one person's life, I don't care what your sex is. I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your political affiliation is. And quite frankly, I don't have to talk about politics around you. You know what I can talk about? I can talk about being a Cubs fan or a Cardinals fan, and we can debate about that. Or it's football season right now. We can talk about, you know, the Bears or the Rams or the Packers or Alabama or Ohio. Or we can talk about Florida State. We can talk about the Gators. Whatever. But you know what I can talk about most? I can talk about how you're my friend. I can talk about how I appreciate you. I can talk about why you matter, how you matter. I can joke around with you so you know that you matter. But the one thing that we cannot give up on is communication. We cannot give up on communicating with each other and going out there and doing our best. My 2019 is not going to start in 2019. I've already started my 2019, whether it's Legal Shield or whether it's the Marine Corps League, you know. I'm starting out strong with the things that we've got going on now. And I want each and every one of you to know that you matter. You're important. I'm grateful for each and every one of you, and I want to thank you for your time because you matter. And when you give me your time, that's the most important thing you can ever give me is your time. And I thank you for it. And even though I don't make sense, a lot of people come up to me and later on tell me I make sense because I know what I'm talking about. At least that's what they tell me. I don't know if it's true or not, but some people think so. So, here's to you and yours. I'll talk to everybody tomorrow on New Year's Eve. We're going to do some interviews tomorrow. Tomorrow's a great day. We got a bunch of great stuff coming up, especially with my channels and everything. We got a bunch of interviews. We got 2008. We got to finish the strong 2018, but my 2019's already begun. I don't believe in this. I'm going to do better. No, it's already started. My 2019 has already started. I don't have to wait on a new year to get started strong. I just have to basically have all my goals set before the end of the year to start the new goals. Because those are mine. Those are my personal things. And goals matter because, you know what? If you set them for yourself and you don't accomplish them, then how are you going to accomplish them for anybody else if you can't accomplish them for yourself? My name's Jeffrey Jansen. Each and every one of you matters. Thank you. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And guess what? We're going to start strong tomorrow. 9 o'clock in the morning. We got a bunch of live things going on. We got Father Jim. We got Jesus Delgado. We got Brent Deeker. We got a lot of live interviews tomorrow so you guys can understand who's important, why they matter, who matters. Hey, Dennis Oliver, can I interview you one of these days, my friend? Because I think he's got a great story and he always loves people knowing they matter and they're important. You know what? He's also one of the nicest guys. Anthony Oliver, you know, if you know Anthony Oliver, I think he's got a great motivational story for you. And it's not about where they do or where they work or what they are. It's just about who they are. And why they love people, and they get to see people all the time, and they get to see the greatness of people, and I got to see the greatness in each and every one of them. Dennis has been my friend for years. People that come on here, you see me talking to them every once in a while, I can give you some of the most brilliant stories about each one of them and how they've made a difference in people's lives. Not for what they do with their jobs, but who they do in their individual time, and the stuff that they believe in, the stuff that matters to them, and why they're great. Dennis Oliver, you are great, my friend. I love you to death. Thank you for being my friend all these years. When you see Anthony, tell him I love him too. Julie Shahid, who is Alex's wife, I believe. If you know Alex Shahid, motivational person like you wouldn't believe. He is probably one of the nicest guys. I'm going to start working on a couple projects. He's not aware of them yet, but we're going to start working on a couple projects with him because I need him and I need his talents to help me with a couple areas that nobody's getting to yet. Mark Miller, a Marine Corps buddy of mine, friend of mine. And like I said, I can go all day long to tell you how great some of you people are. But I want you to know this. Before I get off here, know this. You matter. You are important. What you do today reflects the people tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the greatest day of your life. Right now should be the greatest day of your life. Tomorrow should be the greatest day of your life. Do something that scares you. Do something that makes you great. Always read 10, 11 pages of a great book. I try to read a couple chapters, even a book a day. And know this. Most of all, look yourself in the mirror, even if you laugh at yourself, and tell yourself at least 10 times, I matter, I matter, I matter, I matter, I'm important, I'm important, I'm important. Because you are. I'll see everybody tomorrow. God bless. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to talking to everybody later. Have a good one, everybody.